it's time.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Carrie. Yes, it's time. So, welcome to our Sunday service celebration to those here and to those online. We greet you this morning on this beautiful summer day in the presence and in the power of all that is good and holy and sacred, that which we call God, known by many names, holy presence. And we know that we are here, all of us, especially if you're new today, by divine appointment. We don't believe in accidents, and we know that a special place has been prepared for each of us today. As we begin with prayer, we call upon loving, holy presence to be with us. Today, may I be grateful for my life. May I bring to mind all those in tragedy's way around the world and in my own community. We hold dear to our hearts all those suffering with fires, all the trees and plants, and all the living beings and animals. But today I am grateful for my life. The life I am co-creating. I'm co-creating with the divine spark of love, of gratitude, and of kindness. Today, may I recommit myself to knowing and expressing my goodness, and remembering that all of us want the same things. We all want happiness, community, kindness, and love, and belonging. Help me, loving presence, to be a light and to show myself. We are only divided. We are only divided if we believe we are. And today I remember most fully my reverence for life, and that I am a light in this world, and that the divine spark of love is being expressed by me in my own unique way. And I know that within me grows patience, openness, and hopefulness, for I am easily able to express my highest spiritual ideals in my everyday life. And for this and for so much more, I am ever grateful. And so I say thank you, God. Amen. And our daily word today is praying for others. I know the truth of each dear one I hold in prayer. What an honor it is to hold others in prayer. And I'm grateful for this sacred trust and use it to see beyond appearances, knowing they are temporary conditions. I focus on the unchangeable truth that each one for whom I pray is a divine being, a living expression of God. As I pray for others, I envision divine peace, calming thoughts, and strengthening faith. I see healing leading to the realization of wholeness. I pray divine love and wisdom create harmony in relationships, guiding every decision. And I affirm divine order is established in every area of my life. And again, I give grateful thanks to bless others with the gift of prayer. Matthew says, again, I truly tell you, if two of you agree on earth about anything you ask, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. Let's all stand now and get some energy going and sing our congregational song.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing right up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't turn their heads as they see me ride by. But a little brown maverick is winking her eye. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the sounds of the earth are like music. All the sounds of the earth are like music. The breeze is so busy, it don't miss a tree. And an old weeping willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Oh, what a beautiful, oh, what a beautiful, oh, what a beautiful, beautiful day.
How many of you remember that song from your childhood? I remember Saturday mornings, my parents playing that on the record player and us singing, "Oh, what a beautiful morning." At Unity, we offer a great deal of prayer support. And I wanted to remind you that if you would like prayer support, you can fill out a prayer request. And they are in the connection card that is attached to your program. And you can put those in the prayer vessel as you go out of the room, or in the red connection box, or I suppose nowhere else. Steve's going, that's it. And we will pray with you for 30 days. And after that, we will send those prayers to Silent Unity, who will pray for you again for another 30 days. We want you to know, again, how welcome you are, and wonder if there is anyone here for the first time. You can find us on Facebook. Did anyone find us on Facebook? Okay. But we know wherever you found us, and we're so glad that you have returned, that again, you are here by a divine appointment. We would like to know who you are if we don't know you yet, and if so, we would like you to fill out that connection card. And there is also a red container as you go out of the sanctuary that you can put that in. If you're watching online, you can follow the instructions on your screen or go to our website, unitycenter.org, and scroll down to the button, Connect with Us, Information and Prayer Request. Click it and submit. If anyone needs their information updated, we ask that you do that as well by filling out that information on the connection card. So today, we have some wonderful music again, and I wanted to acknowledge our featured ensemble. Today we have Carrie Joyce on vocal as our song leader, and we always love Carrie Joy. Piano, Patsy Cameron. Thank you always, Patsy. Drums, Dagan Williamson, the heartbeat. Sound, Jim Sullenberger. PowerPoint, Brian Wright. And video streaming, Mark Sauce. Let's give a hand to our support. So now we have our announcements, and we have plenty going on today and in the months ahead and in the weeks ahead. Steve, I have to say, has done, and his team have done an exceptional job in keeping us going, keeping us afloat, having us all come back together. Really, I think that's just an exceptional not just job, but he is doing this with all his heart to support us in our ministry. The July Environmental Challenge is to practice carrying and using reusable bags when you shop.
You're on the wrong side of the... Can you start on the other side? Thanks.
We have some wonderful opportunities at Unity. Thank you, Brian. I'm going to share the highlights, and many of them are in your program today. Or you can go to unitycenter.org. Our Summer Spirit Group series starts today, and this is so exciting. It's inspired by the book Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Whitsett. And it takes us through Charles Fillmore's 12 powers, 12 spiritual powers. And there's no charge other than the book, and you can buy one from us for $20, or you can go online and find a used book. And spirit groups create community and practice, help us live our spiritual hopes and desires, because doing it in community makes it real. So if you'd like to find out about joining a group on our website, you can do that. You can sign up right out in the hallway. Speaking of spirit groups, the music team spirit group, led by our music director, Julie Cruteau, will start on July 18th. So if you have musical talent and want to be involved in that group, it's a wonderful, exciting, enthusiastic group. Today also features another 30-minute yoga session with Lauren Kuvala, and it features seated and standing poses to deepen your mind-body-breath connection. No special clothes are required or equipment, just show up right after the service in the sanctuary. Today is the day set for Buen Camino Music ministry hike at Marie Creek. This beautiful trail near Wolf Lodge features a secluded hike through the Marie Creek watershed. We will gather here at the center at noon to carpool to the trailhead. Just bring water, sunscreen, some trail snacks, and some good shoes. Now we have a suggestion box in the table in the hallway, so we invite you to use it for your suggestions and concerns, and they will be reviewed by the board and addressed. We have an exciting announcement that Lisa Siri, full of energy, is going to be... Oh, we're not going to have that discussion right now. Steve is working diligently to start our youth and family ministry again. And so let's just send extra special energy so that that can happen in the fall. Now we're on the right page. The July Environmental Challenge this month is to practice carrying and using reusable bags when shopping. I don't know how many times I carry them in my car and then I get in the store and I forget them, but I really, really want to use them more, so let's help each other do that. We have some of those bags in the back which are embossed with our logo if you want one. So again, let's just help each other. And I have to just put in a good word for the environmental team. Really, Sandy Kaplan and her team and Steve and the group, every single month have had something for us to consider. As a reminder, we're supporting Parker Subaru's community pantry by supplying unexpired food and keeping our pantry stocked, which is in the back by the door. So if you have that kind of food, please bring it so that we can help them make contributions to the community. Another is Turkeys and More is competing for the $2,000 prize in Findlay Motors July Charity Challenge. To win, they need our votes to raise to the top of the rankings. So the website is in our program today, and you just cast one vote. It's not in the program. Where is that? It's in the bulletin, that's what I meant. Okay, so if you vote there, then and cast a vote, you can help them win the money to help feed people in our community at Thanksgiving.
It's a monthly challenge, so they can vote on every device you own. So if you've got a computer and a cell phone and a tablet, you can vote on each device. You can cast one vote per device per month.
Great.
And whoever gets the most votes, whatever charity gets the most votes, wins the $2,000 challenge.
Great, great, yes.
We were only 2 from being number 1 last time I checked.
Okay, so let's get on it.
Get up there.
We have a wonderful program here called InReach. And so if you have a need in your home and you need support, please let us know. And that form is in the back of the seat back in front of you, and we will assist you as best we can. If you can't come to Unity, use our online Connect with Us form to submit a request. And for more details, see Sandy Kaplan. Sandy, you're here today. Can you raise your hand or stand up? There's Sandy. So to find out more of what's going on, see it in your bulletin today. Lots of information. Seems like a lot of energy, doesn't it, as we're coming back into community, leaving our homes, the quiet of our homes, and coming back into community, gathering together. So let's take all that energy, that beautiful energy of community, and go into our hearts now and prepare for meditation.
And now I invite you, if you would, just to close your eyes, if that feels comfortable. And just move your attention and your energy to your heart center, to the light that is within you. And our light shines in every part of our body, in all kinds of different ways, but especially shines in our heart. for it is where the circulation of our body begins. It is where the energy flows throughout our entire being. And it moves almost effortlessly, unconsciously. We don't even think about it, it just does it. And that is the way the light works within us. That it's just there. It is present. It is our spiritual nature. It is who we really are. It is what we have come here to express in the world. And we don't often think about it intellectually. We feel it and experience it on a deeper level. And we naturally call it forth into expression when we are kind and compassionate and loving and caring. When we think about others and send loving energy to them. When we inspire others with our words and our actions. When we speak words of truth to those we love and tell them that we love them and care for them. When we speak words of connection rather than separation in the experiences of our life. It is in those ways that we share the light of who we are. And it is also there when we listen. We listen with an open heart. We listen being willing to be changed or simply to accept that there are differences among us and to know that is good. That sometimes that challenges us, sometimes it inspires us. Often it moves us to do things that are good and meaningful and loving. And we know that we always have a choice as we walk through this life. We always have a choice in how we show up. We always have a choice in whether we smile or frown, whether we laugh or cry. And it's all good and it's all meaningful. And so in the power of this light that is us, we take a moment to send a special prayer. We pray for Ro, Carrie's sister, and for her healing, whatever it is needed, that she will receive it and experience it, and it will be a healing experience. We send a special blessing to Heather. And know that where she is right now, she is there by divine appointment, and that she is receiving what it is that she needs. And it is a powerful and positive experience for her. And we send a special blessing to anyone that you have on your heart that you would like to send energy and love and prayer to. Just think about them for a moment and know that as you do so, you join your light with all of the lights here and all of the lights that are on our live stream experience as well. And that energy and that love and that healing is multiplied over and over and over again. And that the ripples that are sent forth find their source and find their target. And those that are being prayed for are washed over with this love and light and energy. That their heart is awakened, their body is healed, their mind is clear. Their decisions are easy. Their challenges are doable. And they feel love. And so we allow this divine energy to just flow right now. as we take a moment in the power and the presence of the silence of our being, in the silence.
Sing with me. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, you and I. It's in every one of us to be free. Find yourself, let yourself simply be. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now.
What are you longing for? What are you longing about? Our culture seems to discourage longing. In fact, if you're involved in new thought, you might discover that new thought often seems to discourage a sense of wanting, presuming that if I want something, it's because I have a lack consciousness. I'd like to dispel that idea right from the start. My name is Linda Martella-Whitsett. I'm the author of Divine Audacity, and what I'm most passionate about is being able to teach and speak, and especially to live from my spiritual capacities, and to be able to support you as you uncover yours. Just imagine that all that you could be longing about in your life really becomes the platform from which, and maybe the catalyst for, your grasping of your spiritual nature in such a way that you live like you've never lived before. And that's what I'm all about. That's what I'm excited about for you and for me. Divine Audacity is bold spiritual living. It's living from the presumption that I am divine, and that therefore I'm never helpless in any situation. And I'm living from the space of knowing that whatever I desire, what my deepest longings are really able to be expressed through my spiritual nature by getting masterful at identifying and living from my spiritual capacities. So welcome to Divine Audacity. I look forward to sharing this time with you over the next weeks, where we can explore how you grow day by day, cultivating a mindset and an experience and a way of living every day that strengthens you as a spiritual being. So friends, let me invite you to wholeheartedly jump into this study over these next weeks with your friends and colleagues. Let's do this.
Well, I'm feeling very audacious today. I wanted to share with you the announcement that Gaia I've kind of stopped her on. Lisa's mother has kind of turned for the worse. She has dementia. She lives in Tennessee. And Lisa may have to go back there and live with her for a while. So we're kind of in flux with that issue. So just to clarify what's going on with that. So we send a blessing to her and know that these things, life happens when you're busy making other plans, and we all need to respond to that and recognize that and know that there's a divine process that's going on, and just flow with it and bless her and appreciate that moment. There's a story about a man who was driving down the road, and he saw these flashing lights, police lights, and he happened to notice that a truck had turned over, and the truck was filled with penguins. And there's all these penguins running around. The officers are running around. They're trying to organize them and to get him back into the truck. And the guy had stopped, and he saw an officer coming towards him carrying 2 penguins under his arms. And so he rolled his window down, and the officer came to his car, and he said, well, we're trying to get all these penguins together. Would you take these 2 penguins to the zoo? And the guy said, well, sure. And so they put him in the back seat and belted him in to the seat. And so he took off. Well, the next day, he was driving along, and the officer happened to see the car and recognized it, and so he decided he'd stop him to thank him for what he did. And so he pulled him over to the side of the road and walked up to the car, and he happened to notice the 2 penguins were still sitting in the back seat. And he said, well, I thought I asked you to take him to the zoo. And the guy said, well, I did. Today we're going to the museum. We're on a journey, and we don't know where that's going. And beginning the next 6 Sundays, we are seeking to, as Linda said on the video, seeking to become the light of the world. We're seeking to find that light within us and begin to express it. And it's not that we're becoming anything. The light's already there. We're becoming aware of it. We're becoming more conscious of it. We're becoming connected to it in a different way. And for many, to say that I am the light of the world, to stand there and say that, which is very audacious, right, to begin with, it's almost narcissistic. It's the way it comes across. In fact, the other day I was standing there, and Carrie was talking about washing our windows, and I said, well, don't you know I'm the light of the world? She just looked at me like, are you crazy? I thought she should have said, well, that's why we're washing the windows, so your light can shine brighter, right? People can see it. But it's kind of a narcissistic sort of thing that it comes up. And we talk about spiritual growth and our spiritual journey and our spiritual path as being one of humility and surrender. And often it's easier for us to see the light in others, people that we love and care about, or people that have these particular gifts and charisma and things that they do. We see that light shining in them, and it's sometimes harder to see it in ourselves. And it's like the penguin experience. We all, we listen to these ideas, but we have our own thoughts about it, our own experience, our own intentions, our own ideas, and so we move forward. So to say I'm the light of the world, is it arrogant? Does it put people off? When I hear somebody who shows up as arrogant, the first thought that comes to my mind is I wonder what they're feeling insecure about. I wonder what they're feeling concerned about, because arrogance is a tool to hide deep insecurities in others. And it helps me to understand that, because then I can show up in that moment, in that experience, in that situation in a different way. More listening, more caring, more loving, rather than more reactive or more defensive in that experience. But when we talk about being the light of the world and expressing that light, basically we are, in unity speak, we are not chest puffing. It's not like I'm the light of the world, nobody else is. It's I am, maybe it would be better as I am a light in the world, might be a better way to say it, But I like the kind of the audaciousness of saying, I am the light of the world, because it's kind of like, yes, I am the light. But so are you. And so are you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. We all are. That's the difference. That's the distinction. So when we say, I'm the light of the world, let's talk about our lights, the lights that we're shining and sharing. It's interesting that when Moses approached the burning bush, and he was given his instructions to go to Egypt and to visit the Pharaoh and do what he was going to do, he asked the burning bush, who should I say sent me? Well, first he asked God, what is your name? That's the first thing. And God said, I am that I am. And then he said, well, who should I say sent me? Say that I am sent you. And so in Unity Speak, we understand the words I am in kind of a different way, because it refers to our divine nature. It refers to God. I am is the name of God. And when we talk about taking God's name in vain, anytime we attach the words I am to a negative, we are taking the name of God in vain, because we are affirming something that is not true. Or we are making something that we don't want to be true, true. I am sick, cancel, cancel, would be swearing in true sense. I am well and whole and, prosperous and whatever we want to say is affirming the light. It's calling the light out into being. It's calling ourselves into being. So when we say, I am the light of the world, we are saying, I am divine, and my divinity is the light. That's what we're really saying. My divine self is the light. So when we say it, we know what we mean, and so we can mean it. It's not exclusive. It's in everybody. We're not saying we're a superhero. That's not what we're saying, even though we are. It's a simple truth that we're expressing. It's a principle that we're expressing. Linda says that divine audacity is displayed by your open-hearted relative who dares to remain connected with you, reminding you of your inherent value when everyone else in your family has shunned you. Divine audacity is displayed by the merciful parent of a murdered child who courageously asks for lenience in punishment of the offender. Divine audacity is displayed by someone who wholeheartedly disagrees with another's point of view, but champions the other's right to her viewpoint and seeks to understand. Divine audacity is displayed by the aspiring musician, knowing she stands little chance, but that she must make music, auditions along with hundreds of contenders for 12 slots in the orchestra. Divine audacity is uncommon valor in the midst of common human circumstances. And finally, she says, divine audacity is fearless overcoming of only human tendencies in order to do or say the right thing, that which unifies, harmonizes, strengthens, or uplifts. With divine audacity, you dare to be the light of the world. You dare to be the light. And to be the light, you must experience the light. You must feel the light. I remember my first existential experience, and I've shared this before, but it's my first experience, so I'm going to share it again. And it was in 1970. And I had flunked out of college. I got a 1.2 grade point average the previous semester. I was too busy doing all kinds of stuff, and I flunked the only class I've ever flunked in my life, and that was business law. And I decided it was Freudian because my father was an attorney, so I was sending a message of some kind. But anyway, so I flunked out. And so in January, I moved back to Kellogg, and this was my junior year. And so I was 20 years old, and I moved home, much to the chagrin of my parents. And I wasn't feeling really good about it. It wasn't one of those things that, oh yeah, I'm home. It was like, I'm home. It was kind of like that kind of thing. So I went to work for the Bunker Hill temporarily in lead refiner, where I'd worked in summers before, so I was all trained, so I went there, and that was a pretty good thing to do. And on a Wednesday morning in February, I worked the graveyard shift, and I got off at 7 a.m., and I walked out, because you're inside it the whole night. I walked out, and the sun was just coming up, and it had snowed all night. And the snow was covering everything, and it was just, incredible experience. And so I went in, took my shower, and headed home, and I thought, I'm going to go skiing. And I had been skiing in like 6 years because I had blown my knee out in football, and I had 2 operations, and I just hadn't been able to ski. And I was like, I'm going to go skiing. So I went home, and I got my old ski equipment, put it in the car, got dressed, drove up to Jackass Ski Bowl, and I was the first car in the parking lot, and I got my ticket, and I was the first person on the lift, and they hadn't packed the hill, and it was powder, the soft, fluffy, really sparkly powder, and I went up to the top and just skied a little bit down because I was nervous, skied a little bit down, and there's this ridge that you ski to, and you can go down one side or the other, depending on where you want to go. So I was standing on the ridge, and I was looking out over the snow, and I could see the valley below, and the sun was just sparkling off the snow. And I just had this intense experience. And it was like, life is good. And it's all okay. And everything is in order. It was just this, and I wasn't a unity person. I didn't know anything about unity. And it was all in order. And I just felt it and experienced it in that moment. And it was like everything shifted. And I knew there was a God, and I knew there was more to life than just this experience I was in. And had a wonderful day skiing. 6 months later, I was living in Spokane, married, bought a little house in summer school at Eastern Washington, and I was working part-time for the Prudential Life Insurance Company as an agent at 21 years old, not knowing anybody in Spokane and how audacious it was that I could think I could sell insurance in a place that I didn't know anyone. But everything had come together. It was like the universe just boom, bang, and the whole experience was absolutely perfect. And I know that moment. And when I walked into a Unity church in October of 1972, it's like everything clicked because they put into words in the first lesson that I heard exactly what I had experienced. It just, bang, there it was. And so those are the moments. And when we experience the light, and I know we all have our story, or we wouldn't be here trying to figure it out or getting in relationship to it. We all have our story. So when we experience the light, that's when we begin to be able to claim that we are the light. In his book, Mysteries of John, Charles Fillmore says that everyone has within them the light of divine understanding. Those who do not recognize that they have this inner light are thinking intellectually instead of spiritually. The Christ light comes forth from God and under all circumstances is aware of its source. It's not an accident that Charles believed that it wasn't an accident that Jesus had 12 disciples, that the number 12 was the number that he picked, and that there was a good reason for that, because as we understand Jesus metaphysically, he represents that spiritual nature within us, the Christ presence, and the 12 disciples, as Charles began to put forth in his book, The 12 Powers, the 12 disciples represent aspects of that divine nature. And it's like a prism. The light is within us. It's a bright light, and then it breaks into different colors in our experience. So there's a prism that breaks, and those different powers are individualized expressions of that. And so John is the disciple that Jesus loved, and so John represents love. Peter is the one that recognized that Jesus was the Messiah, and he affirmed that. And so Jesus represents faith. So there's different characteristics. And he needed all those different characteristics in order to conduct his ministry, what he was doing, or how he was moving throughout the world in his entire experience. So we're going to learn about, the next few weeks, those individual powers. Next week we do understanding and faith. Those are the two we're going to be focused on. And it's in the first part of the book. And we've got about 13 copies of the book out there, so you can pick it up. Even if you're not going to be in a spirit group, I'd invite you to pick up the book. But Linda says, every one of our spiritual abilities has a deeper and broader means of expression that when developed under the direction of our infinite self or divine identity, produce potent effects in our lives. in our communities and in the world. And Charles said that in Christian healing, he said that spiritual transformation of our love ability, for example, broadens, strengthens, and deepens it. We no longer confine love to family, friends, and personal relations, but expand it to include all things. We learn the full experience of what it means to bring the faculty of love or the experience of love or the principle of love or the idea of love into our life in a deeper way. And it's not just love relationships or romantic relationships, it's love of our work, it's love of our employer, or it's love of our fellow workers, it's love of our friends, it's love of those who don't love us. Love our enemies and do good to those who persecute. We learn the fullest expression of what that means in our experience. And we develop these powers as we move along. And it takes us from the experience of it's just I to the experience of it's we. It's all of us. That we are not on this journey alone, that we're not getting to where we're going alone, that we all are moving in the direction at the same time and in the same way in our own unique and wonderful way. And so as we learn to express those, they come forth in our experience. Sometimes we don't even know it. There's a couple of interesting stories. A young girl named Megan Vogel at the June 2012 Ohio State Division III girls meet and long distance race had an opponent. Her name was Arden McMath, and those were the two leaders in the race. And Arden was quite a ways ahead of Megan. And of course, Megan badly wanted to win the race that day, as we all do when we're in those kinds of experiences. And about 20 yards from the finish line, Arden collapsed. She just collapsed. And so Megan, it was her opportunity. It was her moment. She just run by, and 20 yards later, she would have won the race. But no, she stopped. And she picked Arden up, got her arm around her, and they walked as fast as they could walk to the finish line, and then she made sure that Arden went over first. That's the light. It's we. It's not about me. It's not just me. Do you think that experience wasn't infinitely more powerful than winning the race could have ever been? For her and her growth and for her experience and expressing who it is that she is. And another story that same year, a man named Delroy Simmons was on his way to a job interview. And he was on the track to catch the train, the subway, or whatever it was. And there was a woman standing beside him with a baby in a carriage, a mother, and so he was waiting for the train, and all of a sudden the mother was turned, and a wind came up and blew the carriage across just a few feet onto the tracks, fell down and went onto the tracks, and the baby, of course, he didn't even think. He just jumped onto the tracks, lifted up the carriage, put the baby in, lifted the carriage up, and put it back up on the concrete, and then grabbed the concrete, and the train saw it and hit the brakes, but he got over the thing just before the train got there. Didn't even think about it. Seconds before the train. And he missed his job interview. Well, someone heard about the heroism and called him, got a hold of him, and had him come in and hired him for a job that was infinitely better than the one that he would have had otherwise. But there he was. Those are the moments when the light shows up. Those are the moments when it's not about me. He didn't even think about himself. He just acted. He just reacted. He let that light shine brightly. So these are two audacious displays. And, in the middle of our hardest challenges, there's no better time. In the middle of our deepest issues, our deepest struggles, or the worst tragedies, there's no better time for us to pivot to our divine nature, to pivot to the light, to pivot to the truth that we know lives within us. We rise above these experiences, and then we pluck, I like that term, we pluck the jewel out of the muck. We pluck the jewel out of the muck and hold on to it. And we transform that experience into a blessing. And is not our purpose to be greater than our human thoughts? because we're divine? Is that not our purpose, to rise above this physical experience into a higher level of awareness and thinking and understanding? And there is a distinction between doing and being. The human part of us is the doing part of us. It's how we function and form. And then being is connecting with our divine self. And it's interesting that being is effortless effort. It's the effortless effort. It just is who we are. And it's interesting that we are, think about it this way, human beings. We are both human and we are beings, divine beings. And if we think that's who we are, that's what that means, that's what that can mean to us. Anita Morjani wrote a book called Dying to Be Me, and it's about her journey through the experience of cancer. And she said about that, she said, the entire universe is alive and infused with consciousness, encompassing all of life and nature. Everything belongs to an infinite whole. I was intricately, inseparably enmeshed with all of life. We're all facets of that unity. We're all one, and each of us has an effect on the collective whole. And so that's how she moved through cancer, through a near-death experience, and that's what she came out with. That's what brought her, the light brought her through that experience. So Linda Martellowitz, she's the vice president of Unity Worldwide Headquarters, and she's also the director of Silent Unity Prayer Ministry. So she's kind of in an important role back at Unity Village. She's also the minister in Unity at San Antonio, and she's written a couple of books. And she has a really nice way of kind of looking at it, and helps us understand that we come into this experience fully loaded. I like this thinking. Fully loaded with every spiritual power. We're loaded. And it's not acquired, it's only revealed. So we're not trying to learn them or grab them, we're simply revealing them. We're calling them forth into our experience. We all have them equally. Nobody has more than others. It's a collective experience. We all experience it. So we are here to reveal them. And that's what we're going to be doing in the next several weeks. So we're going to be looking at these these powers that are broken up through the prism of our divine nature, and we're going to look at them and learn how to express them daily in our life. As I said, next week is faith and understanding. The week after that is will and imagination, then zeal and power, then love and wisdom, then strength and order, and finally release and life. I invite you to pick up a book today. Join a spirit group if you're able to do that. All the sign-up sheets are out there. You can and become even more conscious. And I think at the end you'll be able to stand and say, truly, effortlessly, lovingly, I am the light of the world. Let's affirm that together. Together? I am the light of the world. And that is the truth. Amen.
I don't believe in superstars, in fancy food or foreign cars. That Haagen-Dazs and motherhood have done my body any good. That Elvis is alive and well. That courtesy has gone to hell. That kindness is in short supply. That little kids should have to die. But I believe in love. I believe in dreamers. I believe in miracles, and I believe in you. don't believe in truth is common as it used to be. That left is wrong and right is right. That black is black and white is white. That the Beatles could be history. The 60s just a memory. That war will never go away. That Jimmy Fallon's had his day. But I believe in love. I believe in angels. I believe in Mom and Dad. And I believe in you. I know with almost certainty what's going on with you and me is a good thing. I know it's true. I believe in you. I don't believe that heaven waits for only those who congregate. I like to think that God is love. He's down below, he's up above, and he's watching people everywhere. He knows who does and doesn't care. And I'm an ordinary girl trying to make my way in this old world, but I believe in love. I believe in music. I believe in promises, and I believe in you. Oh, you know, darling, I believe in love. Yes, I believe in dreamers. I believe in miracles, and I believe in you. Whoa, baby, I believe in love. Yes, I believe in miracles, and I believe in you. Whoa, come on, baby, say you believe in love. Say you believe in dreaming, believe in blue skies, 'cause I believe in you.
That's sharing your light. Thank you. So let's take our gifts in our hands for a moment. And if you, no matter how you give, whether you give as direct deposit or online or texting, or whether you're on our live stream, no matter how that shows up in you, we're blessing those gifts that have been given and that are being given in this moment. And we're giving it our special blessing, and we are affirming, my offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply through me. Together, my offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply through me. Thank you, God. And so it is. And our offering vessels are in the back as you leave. Let's sing.
Sing with me. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine, fine, fine. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine. Now I can hear that still small voice guiding me all the way. Now I can make a conscious choice, 'cause I took some time today. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine, fine, fine. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine, fine, fine. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine. Now I can stand in liberty, love in my faith. Now I can stand 'cause I am free, 'cause I took some time today. I took some time today to get in touch with my soul. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine, fine, fine. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I feel fine, fine, fine.
Let us pray. Father, Mother God, we acknowledge this offering as the very substance of your being, created for our use before the world was formed. We know it has been shaped and formed in our thoughts and in our hearts, and now comes into manifestation through our thoughts and our words, and now enters this your ministry with your blessing upon it. According to your perfect law, it returns to each giver heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. For our increased understanding of this law, we do give thanks. Amen. For those of you that are going on the Boyne Camino walk with me today, there are directions to Marie Creek on the table out there next to the sign up for the spirit groups, so you can grab one of those directions, and we'll meet here at noon. And then prior to that, Lauren is going to be doing a little yoga up here for a little while, so you can loosen up and get ready for your walk, or you can just loosen up for the day, regardless of what's going on. So now let's all stand, if you will, and let's close our service with our loving kindness blessing. May I be filled with loving kindness. May you be filled with loving kindness. May we be filled with loving kindness.
And each verse twice. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy.
And so as we go forth in peace. Our hearts remain open. We are awakened to the light of our true nature, and we are healed. And we are a healing source for all beings, and so it is. And so it shall be.